But it's now time for weather with Nebraska Extension Ag climatologist Eric Hunt. Well, Eric, we're still experiencing some of that summer heat sticking around here in the month of September, but how are things shaping up as we near October?
Thanks, Bryce. Looks like we're going to stay relatively warm through most of the rest of the month, and some places it will be quite wet too. Let's start off by taking a look at the U.S. Drought Monitor, which was released on Thursday morning. Again, a little bit under half the state is technically in drought at the moment, but we did see some exceptional drought expansion down into Nuckolls and Thayer County, and eastward expansion of exceptional drought into York, Polk, Seward, and Butler counties. Again, in a lot of these places we've seen historic agricultural impacts this year, and we've also been very, very dry, particularly kind of in this part of the state in the last 30 to 45 days, hence the reason for the degradation. Further evidence is shown by quick dry. So a lot of the summer I was showing you veg dry, which takes longer term precipitation reflectance data. Quick dry is reflectance data with shorter term precipitation. So you'll notice a lot of that area where we have seen the degradation to exceptional drought, we definitely are seeing very bullish dry conditions as depicted by quick dry. In terms of soil moisture, things are generally not very good in eastern Nebraska. So this, according to this model, most of the eastern portion of the state is probably in the 10th percentile or worse. Generally much better conditions as we get into parts of the Panhandle into north central Nebraska. And again, very, very dry conditions across a lot of the upper Midwest, and that's going to have an impact on barge traffic on the Mississippi River, as that river is starting to get fairly low. So you're going to need a wet fall to really kind of try to get those river levels back up a little bit. Something else I kind of want to mention today. So on the crop progress report, we exceeded 50% maturity statewide. So we were at 50% dough stage 5 weeks earlier. That is a relatively short amount of time to go from 50% dough to 50% maturity. Most years we tend to hit that within 6 weeks, and in our really good corn yields, corn yield trend years, we hit that in 7 weeks. This year it was 5, same as 2012 and 2022. So there's a reasonable expectation that our corn yield statewide this year will be around 10% below trend, or maybe even a little bit worse. So I would say that August projection of 185 for corn in Nebraska is probably not going to come true this year. As we head to the week ahead, though, it looks like we are going to have some decent chances of precipitation. We've had some very good precipitation across the northern portion of the state on Thursday morning, and good chances will probably be the rule over the weekend, particularly in the eastern portion of the state. We have an upper level low that's going to more or less kind of cut off here for a couple of days into early next week. Again, it's going to keep the bulk of the heavy precipitation north of us, but we should get some precipitation and potentially some severe weather on Saturday afternoon in portions of eastern Nebraska. Looks like we're going to stay relatively dry in western Nebraska, at least for the next 4 or 5 days. As we head into the later part of the month and into early October, again, the CPC is suggesting a relatively strong trough will enter the western U.S., keeping that area cool. Warmer southerly flow out ahead of it, so above average temperatures are expected for a lot of the rest of the month. Again, this seems like a pretty good, I would kind of bet on this, just given that this trough is coming in next week, probably will be slow moving. But in addition to the warmer temperatures, this should actually bring us some decent chances of precipitation. So again, I understand that this time of year it's a battle between trying to recharge our soils and get crops out of the field. So I know a lot of people are starting to harvest or making decent progress. But we really do need the precipitation, and it looks like Mother Nature may actually deliver us some decent precipitation as we head toward the later portions of this next week. Thanks. Back to you, Bryce.